Good morning, Professor. I hope you are safe. I'm Nitya Sompura, and today I will be covering the introduction part for my group. The company that we have chosen is Apple, and going through the introduction first, Apple was founded in 1977 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. The idea behind Apple computer was very simple. Steve Jobs wanted the PC or the computers to be user friendly so that it can be used by anyone at home or at the offices. Apple is also known for their innovation. In 2007, Apple launched world's first smartphone gadget, which we can say is now have become a part of our life. Apple recently launched credit card services which offers customer buyback if they purchase Apple products from the card. Furthermore, Apple also introduced Apple Games, which is Apple Arcade, and other streaming options such as Apple TV Plus content, which allows user to use the services on subscription basis. If we talk about achievements, there is a huge list of achievements that Apple has made till date. Speaking of the iPhone itself is one of the first biggest achievement that Apple has ever achieved as a tech company. They completely reinvented the phone which offered customers good quality product. iPhones have become a part of our life we know, but it has also made our life easy by communicating it through friends, family, and relatives now. The consistent innovation and improvement brought by Apple is the key that they are at the top of the market right now. Another important achievement of Apple company is the introduction of Apple Pay in the iPhone. It allows the users or customers to to pay the bills through NFC technology without actually carrying a physical card. And let us talk about Face ID. Face ID is also one of the most prominent achievement that Apple has introduced, and it has become widely accepted by people. In iPhone 10, they launched Face ID, providing users with more security and privacy options. So Apple also has made an history on 2nd August 2018 by becoming the first company to achieve 1 trillion market cap capitalization. Apple has not always been limited to just smartphones or tablets. It has even better when it comes to wireless earphones. In the quarter fourth of 2018, the global sales of wireless earphones were $12.5 million, out of which 60% of the market share was captured by Apple Airport. So that's pretty much that I have to say, ma'am. Further, Lee will take from here.
Hello, this is Jianyu from group number 2, and I'm going to introduce you the model of open innovation for Apple. The Apple business model is based on the close coupling of hardware and software, which involves distinct global sourcing strategies depending upon how value is captured and created. Much of Apple's success can be attributed to the embedding of high-end innovative artifacts into a centralized platform that functions like an electronic marketplace and coordinates supply and demand. Such is the success of the combination of products, platform, digital content, and online services that Apple's CEO Tim Cook has suggested that we have entered a post-PC world, evidenced in the sales of devices such as the iPod, iPhone, and iPad. In terms of the supply of digital content, it was not until the launch of the iPhone in 2007 that Apple opened its organizational boundaries to external developers, willing to provide applications and services. In terms of governance structures, Apple owns the platform and acts as broker between the third-party developers and consumers. They exert censorship over the development process, as their SDK determines precisely what type of software functionally can be made publicly available. Since the inception of the App Store in 2008, more than 775,000 apps have been made available with more than 40 billion downloads. In January 2013, developers had earned more than $7 billion from the app downloads, which translates into developers receiving an average of 17.5 cents per app download. For consumers, the appeal of Apple's devices is closely linked with the availability of the online content and services. There is no direct remuneration provided for the development and supply of content. Instead, the costs and the risks are borne entirely by the developers themselves. From 1995 to 2012, Apple's internal labor costs have been fallen from 20 to 30% of total income to just 10% of total income, thereby boosting their cash margin and reducing their relatively high labor costs. The platform serves not only as the channel for developing and distributing digital content, but also as a means of owning the customer. As the supply chain ties customers to Apple devices, Apple is able to leverage the platform to control how content is used and transferred, and by imposing high switching costs. Like innovation marketers, they thrive by selling others' ideas, but are different in that they typically form unshakable connections to the end users. In the spirit of open innovation, Apple has redrawn the boundaries of the firm through external sourcing, the consequences of which has recalibrated its financial boundaries, enabling them to capture higher return activities. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Hello, Professor. My name is Vaidehi Patel, and my student ID is 301205619. And I'll be covering the topic how open innovation has helped Apple to grow. So, let's talk about this. As we all know, Apple is a well known for its product, including hardware, software, and services. Thanks to them, who grew the company from 8,000 employees and 7 billion in revenue to 1,37,000 employees and 260 billion till current date. Employees, suppliers, and partners are all kept under the wrap at the corporation, thus, their things were kept in mystery until the date of their product's appearance. Close innovation, on the other hand, result in technology that is extremely beneficial to open innovation. It's one of the kind issue because Apple is a company that exhibits the exception to the rule, demonstrating the excellent thing may be created without opening up the innovation process. The basic fact in that Apple's corporate DNA possess an innovation element that is impossible to duplicate by the another company. Apple is on track to meet its 2018 goal of 20,000 additional jobs in United States by 2023. With the iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Watch, and Apple TV, Apple currently leads the world in innovation. Apple's five software platforms ensure a consistent user experience across all Apple devices and also following consumer to access cutting edge services. Apple's approximately 1 lakh employees are committed to creating the best product and leaving the world a better place that we found it. There are six principles which Apple embraces, and they are related to the open innovation. So, these are the six principles which Apple follows. First is Apple isn't the only company with the smart people in the sector. They must work with the smart people both within and outside the company. The another principle that Apple follows is Apple does not have to initiate the study in order to get the benefits. External research and development offers huge value potential, yet internal research and development is essential to capture the piece of that value. Apple should profit from other persons' use of their intellectual property, and they should buy other persons' intellectual property whenever it helps their business model. Developing a strong business plan is preferable to rushing to the market. The last principle is Apple will win if it utilizes both internal and external idea to the greatest extent possible. To summarize, the late Steve Jobs company has succeeded in instilling the globe the relevance and value of one key concept, that's thinking differently. Whether through open or closed innovation channel, Apple's success was built on high margin potential open approaches. Steve Jobs was hell bent on capturing value, and Apple went to tremendous efforts to define on its one kind status. Apple's success, on the other hand, paved the way for few of the other innovation, establishing the framework for the rest of the IT industry. So this is the references from where I took the information. Thanks for letting me share my inputs.
Hello, Professor. My name is Shrinivas, and I'm here to talk about how leadership and teamwork assisted Apple in the process of innovation. Now, looking at the point of view from a leadership role. According to Quarterly and Hansen from Harvard Business Review, Apple focuses on functional knowledge in order to produce such advancements. This can be backed up by two arguments, but initially it has a competence in a subject that should be able to make the judgments. So the first one is because Apple competes in markets that see rapid technological change and disruption, it must rely on its own judgment and intuition, as well as a group of people who are well versed in the technology that is producing the disruption. It will take a long time before it can obtain proper market data, but however, using technical experts will uh, increase the likelihood of these investments paying off. Coming to the second argument, if the short-term profit and the price targets were the most important criteria for evaluating investments and leaders are, Apple's commitment would be in jeopardy. Significantly, the senior R&D leaders of the company are compensated primarily based on the single products that are invented, rather than the fees and revenues they've been receiving. As a result, product choices are not motivated with the aid of using short-term period economic concerns. The finance crew isn't invited to the engineering mapping meetings, and the engineering department is not invited when fixing the prices and figuring out the pricing choices. Now, coming to the teamwork point of view, according to Morton, there are four types of teamwork methods that is used in Apple to help with the process of innovation. The first one is one person in charge. So this was invented by Steve Jobs when he was in charge, when he was CEO, that only one worker was held accountable for completing the job. So that has less uncertainty, politics, and frustration. And but more crucially, there's a greater activity and ease. The next one is meeting once a week. So Apple project teams met once a week under Steve Jobs to keep each other up to date on all areas of their projects and to overcome the difficulties with collective firepower of the entire company. Despite the fact it is obvious, straightforward, and effective, it is frequently neglected. The next one is teamwork. Starts at the top of the organization. So when the leadership team has to has to communicate with the subordinates, only then a function of a team will be cohesive. As a result, it's critical that you invest time and attention in developing the team that you are a part of, not just the one that you lead. The last one is trust is key. Trust is the most critical quality in any collaboration. And when teams have a stronger level of trust in one another, they are not afraid to say what has to be said. They trust each other to deliver and feel free to push one another when their actions fall short of the team's expectations. These are the references used to uh, corroborate the assignment. Thank you.